Hi, I'm Gary. We're up here in Mill Creek. Last year we were part of the Wasatch Community Gardens tour. This year they've asked me to do a video tour, so we're gonna walk around the yard here. We built the house 20 years ago, so we've been gardening back here for about 20 years. I've got a chicken coop, I've got ornamental areas, I've got a vegetable garden, and a little small orchard out here, and we'll just walk you through really fast. One thing that's kind of interesting about our lot is before we built this house, everything really basically from the driveway on out was pavement. There's 3 streets that come together right here, and this was all paved. It was just this big part of the street. And what happened was the county wanted to get rid of that, so they vacated that. And then this part of the yard I bought from my neighbor to the east. So right over here I've got an ornamental area. I call it my dry riverbed, and it's been really a fun thing. We did this, we took out a bunch of lawn a couple of years ago and built this. And this area, if you see, we dug it out, and I always try to make things look natural. I like things to look like they were, kind of meant to be there. And one way I do that is I try to put everything below grade. I see people sometimes and they think they need to bring everything up and mound it up. And when you do that, you're sort of fighting gravity. Your mulch, your gravel, whatever you're putting down is trying to slide down. So this way we're working with gravity. We've got a lot of ornamentals. I've got this area here that's xeriscaped. I've got another one out on the end that I'll show you. We put a weed barrier down and drip heads, and it really is pretty easy to maintain, and I think it's really beautiful. And it's been fun to add different plants, add native plants, cactus, things that you might not normally put in the garden, or if you do, maybe they don't quite look like they're in place, but when you give them a nice setting like this, they really look like they want to live there and that they belong. Next over here is our chicken coop, and we have this chicken coop with 5 chickens. It's been fun to have fresh eggs. We put this in about 8 years ago. And again, it's not that hard to maintain. I've got it all covered. They have a great big run. We've got 5 chickens in there. I have access doors on the outside for the eggs, so it's really easy to access them. A little bit of cleanup once in a while, but not a lot of work really. Back here behind the fence is our vegetable and fruit orchard. We have a little fruit orchard out here, and I like to grow fresh corn because it's always hard to find really good corn. And then I've got about 19 fruit trees, and corn takes up a lot of space, but it's really hard, like I said, to find a good one even at the roadside. They seem to not pick it early enough, so this way we can pick it when we want it. And with the sun, the long days we've got right now, you can pretty much just watch it grow. I put some carrots in here earlier this year. Potatoes, we put those in early, right about the end of March, and we may dig a few tomorrow, but I watch them and watch for those tops to die back, and then we know they're ready to pick. Back here, I've got my tomatoes, zucchini, beans. This little patch right here, I like to fill it with all kinds of things. We have a lot of tomatoes that'll volunteer from previous years. I let a few of those grow even, and I put in sunflowers and zinnias and just kind of let everything live together, and they all seem to get along, and they seem to kind of feed off each other, and really kind of they seem to like having lots of other plants around them. So we like to just plant whatever and see what does well. Back here is the kind of the last area. Oh, the fruit trees I should mention too. I like to do grafting, and if I get a variety I like, I'll graft it onto a different tree and kind of tweak it toward the stuff that I really like to eat. And if you do decide you want to do some fruit grafts, I recommend just watching YouTube. There's a graft technique called bud grafting, and you can do that right now in the summertime. But in the bud grafts that I've done, I found them to be a little more reliable. There's other grafts you can do in the spring. You can watch those videos on YouTube, but it seems like the little bud grafts, not only can you do them during the summertime, but they seem to take really well. So, and then out here on the end, this was all lawn, and it's been about 3 years ago I took this up and took up the lawn, put down again the weed barrier with the drip heads, and really what I try to do is make it look like nature. I had a lot of plants in there and they like to grow. They kind of get overgrown. I just took out some skyrocket junipers because, you know, you put things in, they're this big, and then after a couple of years, they're this big. So, you know, you just kind of have to tweak and play, and next thing you know, you get it the way you like it. But again, keeping everything below grade so that gravel stays. I dug all this out and then I put it in. That way I don't have a lot of spillage onto the driveway and onto the walks. But that's the quick tour of our yard. It's been really fun. I love to get outside, and I believe in hard work. I think it's a real blessing. So I encourage you to get outside, get into the sunshine. It's very fulfilling. You can see the fruits of your labor, both literally and figuratively. I'm Gary for Wasatch Community Gardens. Have a great day.